using that project to collect data using input. To do that, I have shared with you a document. There are lots of people joining, so excuse me. Brilliant. So let me start. Can you all see my screen as well? Okay, so the aim, as I said, to prepare a QGIS project and use it in Input app for survey. There is a section for requirements, so if you could all make sure you have got these requirements ready. And if I can ask everyone, please, to mute yourself. Thank you. Okay. The final goal is a form and a project in Input. Sorry, I keep being interrupted. And to do that, we are setting up some background layers, adding a geopackage layer, and then style it, upload it to QGIS Input, and then start using it from QGIS Input to survey the data. Okay, brilliant. I start from a blank QGIS canvas. So if you all have QGIS can you all see my screen and my QGIS? Sorry, somebody else took over the presentation. Apologies. Here it's a blank QGIS project, and we can add a bunch of layers. For the purpose of this one, we are going to add a new vector tiles. Vector tiles, it's a new data provider, which probably Kurt is going to explain more in details today in the later presentation. But for that, we can create a new connection and call it, I call it test because I have it here. And then there is a link I have put under the okay, now we will be able to see this layer in our vector tiles. By double clicking it, it adds these vector tiles to your QGIS session. And we can style the layer. I have got some style shared with you. And QGIS vector tile. Open map tiles. Right. So applying this style will result in these maps. If you zoom in and out, these are a bunch of vectors and vector tiles, and it appears based on your zoom level. It's very fast, and the details are much better compared to XYZ tiles from raster tiles. So you can see to very high details. Excellent. That's one layer. We can also add another tile, and that's the aerial imagery. So we have got these two layers on top of each other, and these are going to be our background maps. We have also got a data layer set up. So I add this data layer. That's the correct layer. And as you can see, this layer has got quite a lot of fields. You can create yourself, but I have prepared that for the purpose of this survey. The link to this project, again, it's in the here. And the way we are going to add data, if we use the default forms, it's going to be very complicated. Let's say adding a form here, we can see it's not very intuitive. We are going to add a style. To add the style, I have shared with you a style layer for this. I'll go through that shortly. So with this now we have got a bunch of tabs here with different edit widgets, different tabs, and different ways of entering data. So for example, if you want to participate, what courses you would like to participate in. And also, obviously, we have set up a different styling for layer symbology. And this project is pretty much ready for being used in input. A couple of things we can do is to set up a map theme. So we can turn off the aerial image and use this. Add a map theme, opens, let's call it street map. And we can create another map theme and call that area. So now we have got two different map themes. And we can save this project, transfer it to Merging. You need to register with Merging. So if you all go to public cloud.merging, and you can you can create a new account here. You can create a new account here, put your username, your email address, and a password, and then sign up. Make sure you follow the link, and then you can log into Merging using this option, this plugin, which is available from QGIS Plugin Manager. So you need to install this plugin. And then what we can do, we can transfer this project to I disabled it by mistake, sorry. We can create a new project and upload this from an existing file that we have created here. Give it a name. And initialize from this one. Well, I can't do it now, but when you press OK, it will create a project for you on merging, which we should be able to see. Shortly. That's one. So this project now is uploaded to merging, and now we can open our mobile device. So if you have got your mobile device ready, this is my screen from my mobile live demoing it. So if I press input and then go to my project or shared with me in this case and download the project and go to QGIS feedback, we should be able to see the project. You can change the map themes based on aerial photo. It takes a bit of time to refresh, or the street map. And we can start recording data. By default, it goes directly to your GPS location, but you can change the map by moving it, add point, and you can see the forms that we have set up, like a photo. I can take a photo of myself. Oh, doesn't change photo, okay. And date is today, question 1. So we can fill in the questionnaire here. So it has added this point, and we can see the preview of it as well. Overall experience 9 out of 10. This has been created again in QGIS, and it's ready to be synchronized back. So if I go here and synchronize the project, and go back to QGIS and pull down my changes, first I can see the status. So you can see a photo has been added and the survey layer has been updated. We can synchronize it. And if we zoom to somewhere where I added the point, and click on info, we should be able to see the photo here and the ranking ratings are done and all those features we have filled in. Likewise, if I add another photo point here, let's say somewhere in US, and want to change the if I save my geo package now, my survey layer, and synchronize it here, if I go back to my screen, go back to my project, you can see there is an icon here that shows it's ready for synchronization. I press synchronize and go back here. If I zoom out, I should see 2 points. You can see the other point I've added in US appears here. And to further explore the project, you can go to project history, and you can see different people adding different features to it. So for example, in this case, the version 4 of the project this point was added, and the changes was in GeoPackage. But then version 3, in addition to modification of the point, we also added a new photo. You can download any of those versions, and if you want to roll back, you can roll back using these functions here, these different versions. Okay, so that's a very quick walkthrough of how things work. And what I would like you to do is to follow these steps, prepare your project, and I'll be online, see how you progress, and I can answer questions either through chat, or if you unmute yourself and ask questions, we can discuss it. Is that all clear? Okay, sorry, someone is asking, can you zoom in? I would leave that for you to zoom in. All the instructions in there. This one was just an overview. So in the next half hour or so, if you could go through that document and see if you can reproduce this form and this project we have done. And as I said, I'll be live and answering any questions if you have any questions. I stopped sharing, but I will be available for any questions.
Saber, if I
Yeah.
should I file a bug report, I found an interesting behavior on the upload from directory.
What is it?
When you go to upload the project, you can establish it from a local directory. It doesn't seem to be just pulling in the data that's referenced in the project. It'll pull in everything else in the directory. So I pointed at the directory on my downloads folder that had like a couple hundred gigs of stuff in it. It's just trying to push it to your server.
No, that's correct. So if you want to start, you need to start from a clean directory and put all your files in a clean directory, because it will pull up for the first upload and subsequently as well. If you place, it tracks that directory. It's like a Git. If you put a file in that directory, it will check for changes in addition to changes to the files, also the number of files deleted or added as well.
Okay. All right, so that's expected then.
Yeah, that's the correct behavior. I should have explained to start from a blank project and put your files.
Good practice, but I was being lazy, so I got bit. Thanks.
No problem. If anything is not clear, just let me know and you can copy paste the text in the chat. I have a quick shortcut for those of you who are not, who don't want to follow the project creation, and you can go directly to merging to this project, which I copy paste here. And once you open that link, you can click on this clone project, and it allows you to duplicate this project. Or alternatively, if you want to contribute to the project that I have created, if you give me your username, just chat it there, and I add you to the list here, and you will be able to contribute to the project I've created from your mobile device. But as you are all QGIS users, I expect you to be confident in creating the project and configure it. For those who join later, I copy and paste the link again. No more questions? All the document is clear. If not, if something is not clear, feel free to ask questions. I'm waiting for questions here. Any issues? Anything not clear? I'm very pleased with the tutorial. It seems to be good enough to follow with no questions.
Tutorial is excellent, Saber.
Good.
I'm busying myself making feature requests on your GitHub.
Nice. At least it's feature request and it's not bug report.
No. Just some minor things I'm noticing while using it. But yeah, it's good. I like it. It's gotten a lot slicker since when I first tried it almost a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
As a question, is it possible to show the information you guys pull from GeoDiff like you have in the website? Is it possible to show that within Q? Or is that kind of difficult because we don't really have...
It's you can do it. So if can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see just fine.
Yeah. So if you go to GeoDiff, if you install this library, which I think it comes with Python plugin as well, but I don't know if it's available, the tools I have in mind, and you can do diffs. So let me see the examples. So you can run this command line manually from your terminal and create a JSON file. But it's not GeoJSON, it's a JSON file. Does that make sense? Because it's not possible to create GeoJSON from this. But one thing we have in mind for future is to have ability to be able to compare versions in QGIS. So you should be able to see different versions of the file, how it has changed. Imagine you have a line and you reshape it. You should be able to see how that reshaping has happened, the before and after.
Is that dependent upon the time manager that's being pushed in?
No, it will be just an extension of the plugin, but it will load the two files and it create the GeoDiff, and it creates like a memory layer to show the difference between the current one and the versions you are comparing with.
Yeah, that's going to be incredible for validating changes and authorizing them. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's the idea. At the moment, you just need to, it will give you, let's say if I move that point, so I moved it here and delete this one. So if you go to status, it will tell you to modify it. It should tell you one deleted. see if it's... Because I deleted it, probably it says the new location is not applicable. It should have shown it as deleted, but not applicable. Anyway, you can see it shows the previous location and the current location.
Yeah, that works nicely. I was thinking this display in particular, that history panel that we can get from the website, is that possible to show in the plugin, or is that not really?
Not at the moment, but as I said, we plan to do it for future.
Okay, so not only just visually the geometries, we'd be able to see a similar tabular display as well?
That's correct, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I'll show you quickly how you can even hook up this sync with PostGIS and synchronize it directly with the PostGIS as well. But I'll wait for another 10 minutes for everyone to finish. Okay, I don't understand the tooltip. What is it supposed to do? I don't see any photo. Are we? So the tooltip. Let me share my screen. I have created this project, and I set the tooltip to be under display, to be overall experience value from the field /10. So it's out of 10. And then it's a link to the photo in the HTML map tip. If I now go to one of the recorded data, so somewhere here, and tap on this, you'll be able to see the overall experience and the photo as a preview. So this preview panel is set by this section of your layer properties, these two parts. I hope it's clear. And the tooltip is not for entering the point, is for previewing the existing data. So as you can see here, I am tapping on the existing data. For the new data, it will always bring up the form that we have set up. And for the, you have problem with your okay, let me answer these questions. If you start a new folder and place your GeoPackage there, start QGIS, load that GeoPackage and save the QGIS project in the same folder as where you have placed your data. It should hopefully all work. Otherwise, as I said, you can go to this project and clone this project. It's a public project. I paste the link again here. Just sign into merging and open this project and press clone here. How can I see the feature attributes for your layers. At the moment, in the current version, you won't be able to see it, but shortly, this is a feature we have implemented in our development branch. I can demo it how it will be possible to see the attribute tables as well. You can see individual form as I've shown here. So you can view the forms for individual feature, but for the current release you have from Google and Apple, you won't be able to see the full features. Okay, for the GNSS coverage, if you mark your GPS and tether your GPS signal to your device, then input or will be using obviously that signal. It depends how you set up your external GPS with your phone. There are some users who have tethered it with external GPS and they get very high accuracy. And for data connection, no, you can have, if your layers are completely available on offline, you can take the data out in the field, collect data, and when you have data connectivity, or you can press synchronize and it will synchronize your data. And if there are other changes from other users, this input will smartly handle all the changes and consolidate the changes from different users, different devices. Okay, we are getting close, another 5 minutes, and then I can show you some of the new features. And some of the features we have got in pipeline. No problem. No, there is no saving of settings, but there is like a traffic light signal you can set on input. So you can set the threshold here. And it will allow you to show the signal strength when you try to capture a point. To make a photo appear in pop-up in Input or in QGIS? For QGIS, you need to go to Fill the Attribute Forms, Photo, and then there is an option here. It says Image Document Viewer, select image from the content type, select image, and that will show you the photo. Okay, we had a question earlier, but we had a question earlier about whether you can browse data, the attribute table. Yes, in the new version, which will be available in August, you will be able to browse data. As you can see in the new version, I have got another extra option, browse, and you can either browse the spatial data or non-spatial data. And then if you click on that, it takes you to edit it, or you can zoom into that. You can also search for a value. So we have implemented that in the upcoming feature. Let's go back to some questions. I tried to take a photo with my phone, but once I upload the project, I'm not quite sure I understand if the photo. I don't know if I understand this question. Yes, you can delete the project in merging. So if you go to, or from QGIS. So let's say you want to delete the project, you need to first delete it probably no. Let's do it from here. So if you go to settings, if you go to your project and then settings and click on delete and type in your project name and press delete, and it will delete your project. I tried to take a photo with my phone. But it will delete it from server, but it's if you have got it locally on a device, either on mobile or from your desktop, no, it won't delete them on those devices. it will just delete the master copy on the server. So could you share the project with me on Merging? My username is Sover. Thank you. So as I mentioned, with the new version of Input, we have got the browsing table and search functionality. Also, one other thing I would like to show you is synchronization of the project with the PostGIS database. So that's correct, Sean. The users will have the local copy. If you think of it, it's like Google Photos. If you have got it downloaded on a device, then even if you delete it probably from the source, I don't know if it deletes locally or not, but if your database is deleted, no, they can't sync any data. Yes, that's correct. Keith, for the question. If you delete a folder, you need to go inside the folder. If you want to associate it with another project, if you search for a hidden folder called .merging, you can delete it and then you can assign it to a new project. Sean, I can show you how the DB synchronization works shortly. Let me. So, if there is no other question, I can wrap up. So the constraints, you mean? No, the constraints are not implemented in the form yet, but we plan to add that to the forms in the future release. Okay, while we are waiting for other questions, I quickly show you how the project works with a centralized PostgreSQL. This project I have got is behind the data is a PostGIS database where all these points are coming from the survey layer. To use it similar to what we have done, we download the project, add points, delete points, but then the beauty of it, there is a PostGIS somewhere here where we can see the changes directly from your database. Let's say I'm going back to my screen here, and this is the offline version of the project. I record the point somewhere where I am. Let's say somewhere far off, so it's clear. Add, save data. So I've created this point, and then if I go and synchronize my database, my project, which is a GeoPackage, and go back here. A couple of seconds for the database to get refreshed. There you go. And as you can see, it has pulled the data from PostGIS and kept a synchronized version of your GeoPackage with the centralized PostGIS here. For the value map, you can either use the for the drop-down menu, either use enter the data manually or use it as a CSV file or database table within your GeoPackage as a non-spatial database, similar to these files. These are all linked with the, oops, sorry. Bunch of these are drop-down menus coming from the non-spatial tables down here. Okay, I can quickly show you the features we have got planned. We have in merging at the moment. Not all of them are fully functional, but in the next couple of weeks it will be. And this is team. So if you are, you can be an individual or sign up as a team. I have under my project an organization or a team, and within that I can invite my colleagues, and when I create a project I can share it directly with all the team, and I can set granular permission, who has got what permission for the project. So I can invite other users here as well. They will receive an invitation email to join the organization. I can also, if I go to my project, I can transfer my project to the new organization. So let's say the projects we have created, we can transfer it to Lutra. And an email confirmation will be sent. If the admin of the organization accepts it, then it will appear under the organization name. So, okay, I think I've covered everything. I will be around for another 15 minutes to answer any questions. But I think Keith, who moderates the YouTube channel, is heading to another meeting to prepare for the next presentation. So feel free to ask your questions and I'll see if I can answer them. Good news. No problem. To an extent close, but input is more mobile app, and merging depends on the server. And so the API where input talks to merging, it's closely tied, but then the development of things like forms and maps, etc., they are completely independent in input. Yes, the limit for uploading and downloading SOAD for the free tier is 100 megabyte. But if you use cable, you can do whatever amount of data you can transfer through USB cable. You are welcome, Shabir. Okay. For PostGIS, I have got a project here. This project, it's a normal offline geopackage data, and this is the project, all a bunch of files, geopackage. But then I have created a PostGIS. The survey layer mimics a PostGIS schema. We have got some scripts to run and create this geopackage from the schema of your PostGIS. And then once you have got that, you can, there are some configuration we need to do in the backend as well. And then you take this project and move it to merging. From merging, you can then open the project in QGIS, in Input, sorry. And let's say I have added this point. I delete this one. And add another point somewhere, probably here. Save. So now if I go back here and synchronize my project, let's see if it has done it. I have a feeling it might have failed, but I seem to have some problem. But the idea is that you change the data here and synchronize it. Let me try again. So while it's downloading, going to delete this file. Delete that feature and record a new feature here. I managed to break the daemon, but the idea is that once you run the synchronization here, it synchronizes your geo package with your PostGIS. The delete button is under projects and then settings. So if you go to your projects, my project, and settings, the cog on the top right, project setting, and click delete and type in the project name and press delete. Multiple survey layers. Yes, you can set up as many survey layers, point, line, polygons as well. Or can a project have multiple surveyors? Yes, again, you can share that with multiple people, and you will be able to, everyone, depending on their permission, will be able to contribute to the project. Okay, I got the PostGIS working, so I have added this point in here, and if I add the PostGIS layer now and turn off the survey layer, We can see the point appears here. Let me do another example. Record somewhere in US. So now back to here. This is the post-GIS, which has already been updated, but the survey layer is not updated. So if I synchronize this, you will be able to see the point both in post-GIS, which already exists, and the GeoPackage. So the purple one is from the GeoPackage, and the orange-yellow one is from the post-GIS. You can see everything is now in sync. The map theme is a combination of layer visibility. So if you probably check QGIS documentation, it explains more about map themes, but I'll quickly explain how map theme works. So let's say you have got 3 layers here and you want one map theme to show the survey layer with the streets layer, this one. You can turn those 2 layers on and then go to add a map theme. Now, because I have it here, it's not active, but then type in your map theme here. And then another one is to have your survey layer with the aerial image. You can then go here and create another map theme. So now if you switch between map themes, it knows which layer is on, which layer is off. How to unify layers from several devices? You just need to ask your users to click, to tap on the synchronization, and the merging magically consolidate everything. You don't need to be worried about the synchronization. It unifies all the changes from different devices. And Juju, you can follow this tutorial here. I'll paste the blog post link. I think this one is a bit easier to follow. No worries at all, Jesus. That's a pleasure. Fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you very much for everyone for participating in this workshop. Feel free to contact us or report any issues, or if you have any suggestion. I paste the link for input issues so you can file any bugs there. Fantastic, everyone. I stopped the recording.
Thanks so much, Saber.
No problem at all, Brett. It's been useful.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.